So today I'm doing something I genuinely have never done in my 28 years of riding. I have never been British showjumping. I've never done any sort of affiliated showjumping before. To be honest, I've not competed all that much at showjumping. I did previously ride for a professional showjumper, but I only ever trained the horses. I never used to compete them. So I actually find showjumping one of my most nerve-wracking disciplines. So today I am completely stepping out of my comfort zone and we are taking Ginny to our first ever BS show. Hi guys and welcome back to another video. Now we are having to start this in the box because for some reason BS starts at 9 AM, which is mental. So today we are going to our very first ever BS show. I'm not gonna lie, it's not something I thought I'd ever be saying. In my nearly 28 years of riding, I have never done British show jumping. So yeah, quite excited for this. We are taking Ginny on a ticket and I've entered the clear round, which I don't actually know how big that is, and the British novice, which I entered this week, and I found out today that because it's a single phase, I believe we start at 90 centimetres and then the timed phase goes up to a metre, so like the timed section. We'll find out. We honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. We're in a higher box, so I'm hoping I've packed everything. This may be my first and last British show jumping, we shall see. Not gonna lie, I just thought it was us eventers that got up at the crack of dawn, so when I set my alarm at 6 AM to come show jumping, I was not overly impressed, but yeah, let's go see what it's all about. So we got there, Jade got Jen off the box and is going to give her a groom and start getting her ready for me while I go and walk the course. I walked this course twice, and can you count how many jumps I actually walked? Because I'll give you a clue, it wasn't enough. All the way around the arena to 6, which is the first double, and keep going. 7's that black and yellow, all the way around. 8's 2-stride double, come up here, right hand turn, 9, down to 10, which is your finish. In my defence, I had absolutely no idea how many jumps were in the clear round, why there were bollards in front of the jumps with numbers on, and normally eventing it's 10 jumps. And there was a finish line by the swing. So technically, I'm not thick, I just didn't understand. So I've walked the course. It's pretty nice actually. The only tight turn is 4 to 5. We've got 2-stride double, 1-stride double. But yeah, it should be okay for Miss Gingins. She's just off the box having a bit of hay, had a quick groom, and then we'll start packing up soon. We'll just be like a donkey in between phases. I'm like, it's not real, I know you. Lulling me. You okay to put that back for me, Jane? Okay. There we go. Arr. Arr. Good girl. So we got tacked up and came and started getting warmed up, and I forgot to say we are actually at Speedley Equestrian today. So this is a local BS venue. It's also where me and Janet did our first ever event, if you guys remember that vlog. So I really like Speedley. It has sadly just sold, and I'm not sure if they're planning on keeping it as a competition centre. It'll be really sad to lose it, but because this was a Tuesday BS, it was really lovely and quiet, especially for the smaller classes. As you guys know, if you've seen me warm up before, especially for my show jumping, well, any of my jumping really, I do 10 minutes of walk trot work, 10 to 15 depending on the weather, and then I get Gin thinking very forward. Sometimes, every now and again, Ginny can switch to a bit of a backwards way of thinking with jumping. So I make sure that she's in front of my leg initially, and then we start playing with the paces a little bit more before we start jumping. That's always kind of been our warm-up. I also tend to really not jump her very much in the jumping warm-up. I tend to find she gets hotter the more she does that. So we start on a very loose rein, and she kind of is allowed a head in the air and things to begin with, and then I have a little bit more of a say as the warm-up goes on. I think warm-ups are really individual. You have to know your horse really well, and this is just what I found works well for me and Gin. Good girl. And again. Good girl. 1, 2, 3, good girl. Good girl. Ooh, ooh. Good girl. Let's not run any 5-star eventers over today. Yes, would you believe I've come British Showjumping and I can't get away from the eventers? There were actually 2 5-star eventers in both clear round and my class today, which is great. It's always really nice to be able to watch professionals, but it's a little bit nerve-wracking at the same time, especially when they're on like actual babies and you're there on your horse that is not a baby. But I would say we are still a very new partnership, so this is all just a learning curve for me and Jim. So with a clear round, you come in, you start when you want to. Obviously the aim is to go clear, but you can approach fence as many times as you like. You basically take your time, do what you need to do. Obviously you have to jump the fences in the order that they're set out, but if you're having trouble with anything, you're not going to be eliminated. You can come to it as many times as you like, unless you're holding up the entire show day. So we got going, and from the off, I could tell that Miss Madam was buzzing and ready to fly. I do think, because we've had a little bit of time off competing, it's suddenly very exciting to come out jumping. Very proud of her around that corner, not going to lie, that is not an easy corner. And then I was absolutely dreading this turn back to 5. Rollbacks really have caught us out previously, but she did it beautifully, and actually she felt like she was really flying through these, so I was really, really proud of her. This is where it kind of fell apart a little bit. I kind of did a little bit of a go to my hand into the double. She was very strong to jump today. Very, very strong, which I think where it all went a little bit wrong here. So this is actually our final fence in the clear round, which I had no idea. So she kind of backed off and then went, and so we weren't prepared for the second element. And so I actually pulled her out at the last minute of it, which, if you know Ginny, anything like that, when she's like, this is my game plan, and then you change the game plan, she can get very upset, which is exactly what she did. She cavorted around the arena with me. I genuinely had no brakes, and Speedly doesn't have much of a fencing, which, trust me, I've been on that grass before. We know what happens when Jin gets a little bit crazy. So I tried everything in my power to calm her down, bring her back to trot, reapproach, and this is the beauty of a clear round. Like, she was just getting hotter and hotter as the course went on, so actually to stop and reapproach was a good thing. Now Ginny is very clever. So once I've done something like this, she's like, oh, well, I don't need to jump the second part then. So she came into it and then wobbled a bit and then went, actually, we'll go this way this time. And I was so annoyed with myself because I could have made her jump the second part. All I needed to do was close that outside rein and put my leg on and be like, no, you're going straight over. And I knew this, I knew it was going to be that simple. So I kept her together. I sat her up a little bit more into the fence and I really thought about my approach. And actually then, what happens? She does it perfectly. And I actually came around this corner expecting there to be a 9 and 10 fence. Apparently clear round just 8 fences. Had no idea. Gave her a pat, because even though there was a few hair-raising moments, aren't there always with me and Jen, but she was actually very good. She jumped everything in front of her. She was bold. Yes, she was enthusiastic. We know that's something that we're dealing with. I don't think she needs any stronger bits or anything. I just think we need to bring her out more so that it's not quite as exciting, because the first round always goes a little bit like this. So hopefully she'll be a bit calmer for the next one. So Sam from Sam and Earl was also there, and she very kindly also filmed my rounds for me, so you can see a little bit more of the action and a little bit closer up than where Jade was stood. And yeah, the more I watch this back, like obviously there's so much that I can pick apart and say, well, I didn't do this and they were a bit too quick here and I didn't do that, but this was a very bold round, and given that Ginny has had some issues with confidence not that long ago, well, we both have really, this was amazing. She's just flying around those fences. So yeah, it was all going well until the one stride double. I think because she kind of started stopping a little bit before she went away to Nikki's, I'm really conscious of not going to my hand and not slowing her into a fence, because I don't want to just die on me and not do it. So on that corner, I should really have sat her up and woed her. So she was jumping in really big, struggling for the distance, so then not jumping the second part of the combination. So I do believe that was a rider error, but we got over it the third time. She hates getting things wrong, so she gets really upset, and that's why she was bouncing all over, but we did it and got over everything. She's feeling mega. She's just so enthusiastic at the minute. Like, she's really strong. She is having her saddle checked tomorrow as well, because I do think she's filled out a bit, and I do think it's moving slightly, which might be why she's running away from it. Her back's fine, she feels good, dressage-wise. Just notice she's getting a bit quick. Like, the further we go around the course, the quicker she's getting, and that maybe makes me think possibly needs this adjusting. But it's getting done tomorrow, so that's good. So we've just got one more round, which is the British novice. So, as I say, I believe we start at 90, and then they go up to a metre, which means that lovely one stride double is going to be even bigger. Marvellous. It's not the height she struggles with, it's the control and speed and just getting things right in the correct combination. But look at her. You like butter wouldn't melt, Jen? Oh, so tired now. What is she? I genuinely don't understand how you are the most chilled horse in the world until you're jumping around a course. Says I don't see your problem, Mum. Says I'm a really good girl. I don't know if you're going to go fast around it the second time or slower. Something tells me faster when she knows where she's going. So we had about 40 minutes to kill, and Ginny literally fell asleep. She honestly, her lip went, she was there resting her legs, like she was fully dozing in between rounds. And then, would you believe, suddenly woke up when we were back in the warm-up arena. Now, a fun fact, another one, about me and Jen is if I'm doing 2 rounds, I don't tend to jump her before the second one unless it's been quite a big gap. I think I did when I do if I'm a little bit nervous, but I was feeling quite confident, funnily, even though the clear round hadn't gone 100% correctly, because she gave me such a good feeling of boldness in the first round. I was feeling very confident about going in and jumping this, and the heights didn't look that big. Like, I was expecting to come to BS and be jumping a metre and be like, oh my goodness, but actually I was like, yeah, I think we can do this. So I was feeling fairly confident in my second warm-up of the day. So off we pop for our actual first proper round of BS. This time we get a tannoy and a bell and everything. And I'm always a little bit nervous of crossing horses going in and out the arena because Jin can be a little bit nappy. So I waited and then set off straight away, because although I'd like her to familiarise with the arena, sometimes I find trotting around makes her worse rather than better. So I was like, let's just get going. And she was feeling good. She was feeling like, she was like, okay, I understand what I'm doing now. We've had our little warm-up. and she came in a lot steadier actually into the first jump, which I was really pleased about. And then we came around here and she did change leg at the last minute, which I think is the reason we had that pole, because she was a little bit like legs are all over. This corner then became a little bit of a handbrake turn, but luckily that jump was pretty small, so it made it quite a nice line, and I was really happy with this rollback to 5. Gin always wants to jump that pink jump when we come around here. Oh, and I also realised as I was warming up that I had not walked fence 11 and 12. So remember when I was showing you guys the fences? Yeah, I only walked 10. I didn't actually know, apart from watching someone ride it from the warm-up arena, how to get to fence 11 and 12. So yeah. Anyway, on to fence 8, which was our nemesis fence in the first round, and look at that. She was foot perfect. I was so happy with her. She just felt amazing. And then now it's time to do 9 and 10 for the first time. She got a little bit stronger to that one, so I did have to say, woe up a little bit, which is something I've been a little bit nervous of, but I did that very well this time. And we had another rollback to 11. And then this is where I made an error. Now I should have gone on the inside of that black and white fence, but I thought I could get to the fence on the line I took. Sadly, I couldn't. So next time I walk a BS course, I'll make sure that I walk all 12 fences and that I actually know where I'm going. But actually she flew over the final fence and I was really happy with that round. It was a vast improvement on the clear round. She felt mega and we really felt a lot more in time this time as well. So yes, definitely a better rhythm in this round. So back to Sam Cam, same round, different angle for you. As you can see where it went slightly wrong there. She changed her leg and just got a little bit deep. Then I had to put a little bit of emergency brake on, but I'm getting so much better at using my hand but supporting her with my leg, whereas before we just used to kind of die if I went to my hand at all. And I just think our partnership is growing so much each time. I was so proud of myself with that rollback and the way she approached that fence after it, because tight turns have been something we've struggled with generally due to the fact that Ginny goes so quickly. But I don't want to dull her sparkle. Like, she's never going to be a horse that bobs around in a really slow canter. If I can have a little bit more rideability, I will absolutely take it. But then look at this. Look at the way she comes into A with her little happy ears on. She flies in, she gets the striding perfect, and she was just mega. To say we had trouble with that in the clear round, you would never have thought it coming into this. She can sometimes run a little bit into a relative distance because she sees the second fence, so you do have to sort of woe her up a little bit. But look at the way she comes around this corner. She flew this fence. It was the best feeling ever. And then we're on to our last line, which sadly, as we know, Georgia did not take the correct line, so I did have to keep going. But she accepted that, and normally when I've kind of gone a bit wrong, Ginny would be like, oh, well, I can't do it then. And, that was quite a tight turn, and she flew over the final fence. I was so proud of her. We just felt in such better balance and rhythm, and like we're really getting our partnership together now. I just love her, which is why I was grinning from ear to ear and patting her all the way out of the arena. Amazing! Oh, really?
I think it's around there, then I came in the corner and I was like, I can't get to it this way.
You guys smashed that. I was so proud of you. Are you the best girl? Are you the best girl? So I'm much happier with that second round. That felt a lot more like Ginny, felt like our usual way we jump. Obviously knocked the second pole, and then I may only have walked 10 fences, so I didn't actually know there was an 11 and 12 until I watched the rider before me. So I misread where I needed to go from fence 12, unfortunately, but never mind, it's always good. We're on training on a ticket anyway, so really pleased with her. She definitely felt a lot more controlled in that one. We had a few handbrake turn corners, but that's just Gin for you. Definitely doing my 10-metre circles this week in my dressage lessons helped with some of those rollbacks, because my goodness, girlie, you were mega. Really pleased with her. Jade's just washed her off for me, and Sam's here as well. me and Sam actually see each other quite often and then never film it. Like we're just like, it's like we went to camp, I got back, I was like, me and Sam didn't film anything together. We had some on yours, just not on mine. I'll grab the other mic actually. That's it, you covered Jade. Oh, where's my camera?
Jade's like, I love my
Fuzzy.
job.
Is that Claire off? Is that,
No,
Claire's
in
the
this
one.
one. She's got like 3 more horses to ride.
Oh, nice.
She's got horses in the Fox Hunter.
Oh,
so she's here all day, basically.
Yeah. I honestly, I wish I had more time to watch the others. So I wanted to say, because actually last night when I was pooping myself about the fact that I'd entered BS for the first time, I sat and watched Sam's videos, and Sam is actually part of the reason that I came BS, because I thought, if you and Elle can do it, me and Jean can do it, like, you actually really inspired me to come. And Claire, who is Sam's yard owner, is here as well. So it's been nice watching her on the babies.
I know.
I'm there on my non-baby thinking I feel like a baby. But yeah, you really like BS as well, don't you?
Yeah, I like it, and I wouldn't have come unless Claire told me, because she's a professional show jumper and she's my trainer and yard owner, and she just said it will really help me with my confidence, because I really struggle with the warm-up.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of like professionals here producing horses, you feel like it's okay because they're on babies, so you see the babies act out a bit and you see how calmly they handle the situations, and it's actually a lot calmer here. I don't know if you'll agree, compared to like
definitely
going to normal
like,
shows.
I couldn't believe how quiet the clear round was, even though there's quite a few people, and it's just and it's the same reason I go BE rather than unaffiliated, is because I like how organised it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like not knowing what I'm doing, so I keep like moving you out of the way. We'll get Jade to hold the camera in a sec. Right, Jade's got the camera because I kept cutting Sam's head off. Sorry, Sam. But yeah, you've done a few BSs with Earl now. Do you do everything on a ticket?
Yeah, mostly on a ticket, and I haven't got a registration yet because I just don't come enough.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So we want to come more regularly, and because eventing's so expensive, this is like my alternative. So we do them in equal measure now. But yeah, I'm just trying to work on my confidence to go around the British Novice and then step up to British Discovery. So that's the
That'd be mega.
level up.
I have no idea what height anything is.
Well, my aim at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the year even, was to basically go through the warm-up to then actually make it round the British Novice. And so I think the one in between the newcomers and Discovery is, the Novice and Discovery is the newcomers, is it?
Right.
Is it newcomers between them? I think so. So I said,
someone call an expert.
I said, I'm only going to try and do British Novice this year. And then I came to my first one with Claire this year. And then we went around the clear round really well, and she went, go on then, on a ticket. And I was like, huh, what? I'm so scared. And so I did it straight away, and that was my goal for the whole year. But the thing I like about British Showjumping is more so the fact that, like you say, it's really organised.
Yeah.
The people are really nice. Everyone's here for the same reason, and most of the time it is just training horses at the level that we're jumping at.
Everyone's like concentrating on their horse, aren't they? Whereas I feel like when you go unaffiliated, you see people just like wanging the ponies round and taking tight turns things to try and win. Whereas I don't feel like this is about coming in, doing this, and I think anyone who events who comes BS, you're coming to give your horse a more complex show jumping course than what will have normally BE, because I mean there's 12 fences, Georgia. 12 fences at BS. So you've got more fences, you've got more turns. Like, I know when I walked that, I was absolutely like crapping myself for the turn from 4 to 5, thinking, I can't do that. And actually, that was probably her best turn into events.
You guys are amazing.
It was great.
I felt like a proud mama. I was just like, she's doing it.
This is what I love about us, though. We like cheer each other on. It's great.
Yeah.
I'll be doing the same for you at camp this weekend, taking Mr. Ale out.
I know, I'm excited, but we just haven't done that much. But it's the same thing when you come here, because people are educating their horses at the level we're jumping at in here. That's why it's just not carnage, because they're actually trying to make sure their horses are learning.
Yeah.
And then as you go up, it usually is a bit busier than this, but it may get even busier. But the classes aren't too big today, which is really nice. So you've chosen a really good day to come to the first one.
I didn't fancy a weekend BS, not gonna lie, just yet. I was like, we'll go midweek.
I stand for weekday.
I do the same with BD. I love going BD midweek. Yeah. Maybe I'll drag you to BD, and as soon as you've dragged me to BS.
I think your mum needs to teach me first. I don't think I'll make it round like without going like 40%.
Honestly,
like,
nothing could be
sorry.
worse than Ginny's BD, first time at BD. We went and did the combine training, and what did she get, Jade? Like 50% or something, 56%?
56%.
Yeah, terrible, terrible. But
Yeah, but that was when she was just in her like, I'm a crazy,
yeah, she was in
I'm
llama
a
face.
crazy girl phase.
She was in llama face.
So a massive thank you to Sam for coming and supporting us. It was so lovely of her to join and do a little bit of filming for me so you guys could see different perspectives. We did wash Gin off completely before we started chatting, of course. The horses come first. And speaking of horses coming first, the weather is due to be up to about 31 degrees this weekend. The heat is back, unfortunately. So please do be careful if you are heading out competing or planning on taking your horse anywhere. Sadly, I have actually retired from the BE event that I was meant to be running this weekend just because it's 2 hours away, so it would be 4 hours travelling in the box for Ginny, and I just cannot do that in that heat. It's not worth the risk to her. She means way more to me than that. So sadly, no eventing for us this weekend, but we do have lots more coming up, so make sure you subscribe to see all the action. And thank you so much for joining me today for my first BS. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed it and I really did not expect to, so it was great. And I think we saw such an improvement from the clear round to the actual round. She just felt great today, and I really do feel like we're starting to get it together and that our partnership is really starting to blossom, which is just lovely. So of course I got Gin home and gave her plenty of treats once I turned her out into the field because she was such a star today.
So there we go, we are back from BS, and I actually really enjoyed it. Is it bad that I wasn't anticipating enjoying it? Like, I don't know. It was really good. I'm gonna go now get changed. Just need to get out my white breeches because they're not gonna stay white for long. Then I've got some filming to do at the farm today. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would love to say if anyone is considering going BS, then leave some comments and I'll help you out, but I still have no idea what I'm doing. Honestly, getting a ticket was like the easiest thing. It was only £5 to run on a ticket, like £5 each ticket, so that was really good. I think obviously actually doing affiliated and becoming a member, I think it worked out like £120 or something. So if I go often enough, I will join. I do much prefer my affiliated stuff to my unaffiliated. But yeah, we had a good day. Gin is now back out in the field, and as much as I was complaining this morning about an early start, it is flipping warm today. So I'm actually glad we got riding out of the way. Here they are, the doggies. Forgot you two were about. Right, I'll see you soon, guys.